MrBeast, the YouTuber who went from giving away pennies to millions, who has helped start movements that literally changed the world. This is my video answering the biggest question ever in the history of mankind. Just how rich is our boy MrBeast? ? So if you've seen a MrBeast video, I'm sure you've wondered this very question. Just how rich is our boy Jimmy? Now, I've been wondering this for a long time, especially after he gave away $1 million in a competition recently. It is crazy that a YouTuber is at the point where they can do stuff like this, that only TV shows used to be able to do, or afford. But if that wasn't mind-boggling enough, he recently gave away another $1 million as a charity event. So my boy has given away $2 million in the past 3 months, and oh yeah, he's also made like 12 more videos between these two and gave away even more money because, you know, MrBeast. Now, I had a script for this video, but after the 20 plus hours of research just on my part, a lot of my thoughts on Jimmy have changed. Not necessarily for the better or worse, just changed. In order to get all of this information for this video, I had to watch over 100 MrBeast videos and every podcast he's been on. And well, as mind-numbing as that was, it had to be done to come up with his overall net worth. Now, if you look up how much Jimmy is worth now, they'll say something like $6 million, and that's not right. As soon as I saw that, I knew something was not correct, so that is why I'm making this video. Because us nosy people just want to know how rich MrBeast is. Okay, so before you get all upset at me for revealing all this personal information, just keep in mind that all this information that I found was public knowledge. I just used all these little bits of details to come up with an actual net worth. Also, MrBeast actually made a video very similar to this one a while back before he blew up on how much PewDiePie is worth. And now I'm making a video about MrBeast. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be the next big YouTuber or anything, but coincidence? I think not. Anyways, my point is, I don't think this will upset Jimmy, or at least I hope not. Okay, so here's the plan. First, I'll calculate all of his expenses, such as videos, staffing, housing, and demonetization. Now, I know the last one isn't really an expense, but for the way I calculated all this, it makes sense. Just wait, you'll see. Next is the fun part. We gotta find out how much his main channel earns through Adsense, and as well as his second channel, which you probably didn't even know about if you're anything like me, but yeah, he is too. After that, I'll find his income on affiliate links and sponsors, but most importantly, I'll be calculating his merch income and then taxing all of his earned money. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff, and I hope you see what I mean. I'm truly going all out on this video. Anyways, stay tuned to find out just how rich our boy Jimmy is, and as an extra thingy for you big brains out there, I'll be revealing which MrBeast video actually cost him the most money. The answers will definitely surprise you, cause it surprised me. The winner of our last shoutout was this guy. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and if you'd like to win a shoutout like Mr. Abdullah, all you gotta do is find this icon somewhere throughout the video and comment the timestamp it pops up, and if you're first, you'll get a free shoutout. Anyways, let's start researching for this video. First, I gotta explain this document, because this is where the majority of my time was spent. So me, my wife, and even some subs created a list of MrBeast videos. All of these videos are ones where he gave out money or had major expenses. Basically, we would add up how much money he spent and then figure out if it was paid by a sponsor or not. This required watching nearly every MrBeast video. After about 30 hours of researching, Jimmy has spent approximately $6,854,271.23. And that was throughout all of his videos after subtracting what sponsors have contributed. Next, let's talk staffing. MrBeast has approximately 13 staff. He could very well have more, but this is what I got. 3 editors, 1 manager, Chandler, Jake the Viking, Chris, Marcus, Weddle, Garrett, and Ethan. And maybe another filmer, and most likely a financial person, because I think that's just necessary for him. Now, before you go down below and start questioning my ability to brain, I included some people who left because they were on the MrBeast payroll for a long time and I needed all of his expenses. Plus, they all sadly had to be replaced at some point just to keep the channel going. My estimation for staffing cost in total has been about $1.5 million in the past 2 years, and that's if they're getting paid the average salary in Charlotte where they're all located, which is $60,000 annually. Anyways, next step. Housing. MrBeast is a pretty nice boss. He legit pays for the housing of a lot of his staff, which was something that I learned after watching all of his videos. This comes to about $120,000 in total. I got this from looking into the average cost of a townhouse, which is usually around $1,000 per month. Then after researching, I think he is housing about 5 staff. Then we multiplied that cost by 2 years, because that's how long he's been running his channel at this scale. The next thing I factored into the expenses is demonetization. Since I added up all his YouTube income from his total view count, I had to factor in this, because some of those videos did not actually earn revenue. My estimate is that I'll have to subtract around $200,000 from his revenue that I calculated from his total views. So that is a total of $8,674,271.23. Now let's get into the fun part. So this is how I came up with his total earnings. First is the easy one, YouTube ad revenue. To get this, I multiplied his total views by 6 and divided it by 1,000. Basically, he gets $6 per 1,000 views, so this calculates how much revenue that he earns. I did this because most people get a higher CPM than what some of the websites will say about MrBeast. Like, do you really think he only gets $2 per 1,000 views? I get a higher CPM than that. From what I could tell, he's not part of the Google Preferred program, so my total ended up being $30,689,133. Then I did the exact same process for his second channel and got $1,849,939. Next was a harder part. I basically just estimated that he earned 30 grand from affiliate links. I got this from old videos that he's published on this topic and some podcast information that I found. After this, I just added $100,000 for money that was left over from sponsors, because I think sponsors like Honey would pay more than what he would spend on some videos. Now all that is left to find out his total income is the hardest part. Finding out just how much money he makes off of merch. There is no number out there that I know of that just says how much product he's sold, but in a tweet he implies that YouTube revenue is nothing, and I assume he said this because he makes the majority of his money through merch, which is why you don't see Quid anymore. So after a lot of research, I could not get any info on this topic, so just before giving up, I found this. This site basically estimates how much money people make off of merch. They just multiply the views by the average amount of people who buy merchandise, and this gets you a whopping $50 million. Now this could be easily high or low, cause this is a range, but since MrBeast sees his merch as a way to fund his channel, he charges more, so it could easily be double 50 million, but just to be safe, we'll stick with 50 mil. So a drum roll please. This is how much MrBeast has earned before any expenses. $82,669,072. So now in order to get his full net worth, all I have to do is subtract his expenses and then apply tax. So after I subtracted expenses, he has $32,582,028 and some change. But guess what? There's a thing called tax. So I'm not a tax expert exactly, but this is what I did. I basically just put MrBeast in the highest tax bracket because he's a big baller, and I added his expenses and earnings together. After this, I multiplied it by 0.4 to get his final net worth, which was about $13,032,811.03. So I think he's worth a lot more than some sites say, and of course it's weird because he gets rid of so much money all the time, so it fluctuates. Obviously this could be a bit off, but from the information out there, this should be the most accurate estimate out. So as a side note, as I was researching this video, I always just assumed like the video where he gave away the most money was actually like the $1 million giveaway, but that would be incorrect. He's a video where he gave his girlfriend like 100,000 roses or something like that, and it turns out that just that video he spent around $2 million on the low side. In order to buy that many roses, you have to spend a lot of money, and that was never something that really came across my mind. I was just like, wow, that's a lot of flowers, but in reality, he actually spent millions of dollars on his girlfriend, so it's kind of cool to see where MrBeast's priorities lay. Now, this video took over like 30 hours to make, so please consider becoming a member if you enjoy my channel, as it'll help support me making videos just like this. Also, I wanted to give a special thanks to the following people for helping me out on this video. First, my wife helped me for several hours, so thanks. Next, I wanted to thank Kid Hobbies, who has spent a lot of time helping helping. He did a bunch of research for me and it meant a lot. Next, Yanni also helped out a bit and I wanted to thank you so much for your help. Anyways, I hope you guys found this video informative and I hope I was able to help you answer this question of how much MrBeast is worth.
Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high.